Hello, hello. I'm just waiting for our special guest to join us. We are going to be talking about our Profit and Secure conference that's coming up July 11th through the 13th. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It's a virtual event exclusively for Black women in business who, aspire to elevate their business to new heights and build a more profitable and secure business. So we have two special guests. One is going to be a speaker at the event, and one is going to be a sponsor. So as soon as they join, we'll get started. We also have a deal on our tickets too. If you haven't already gotten your tickets, let me give you the code. It's 5 off for a discount on a 3-day passes. So make sure you check that out. Grab your tickets. You would love to do an interview. Well, send us a message. Bad girl Riri. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell us where you're tuning in from. There we go. Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Y'all gotta bear with me, child. I'm an old lady. I'm a Facebook person, so I'm on here like freaking out trying to figure out how to get everybody on here.
Me too.
I'm like, I never been on IG Live before. I usually do my shows on Facebook and YouTube, so it's all right though. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm excited to have you here. Are you excited about our women's conference we have coming up?
I am. I think it's gonna be dope. I'm like really excited to hear everyone talk and just, see how it all comes together.
Yeah, me too. It's shaping up to be a really nice event. And I'm excited. I'm excited. We have some great speakers, some great sponsors, so it's gonna be a really dope event. Well, while I have you here, you want to tell us a little bit about your business and what you got going on while we bring in our next guest.
Yeah, so I'm Nishaea Richardson and I'm a financial coach. And I work with high achieving professionals who want to master their money and build a richer lifestyle. And I work with my clients through one-to-one coaching, through financial literacy membership, and then I also financial coach for the Affordable Housing Partnership to get families ready for home ownership.
Wow. So you're going to be a great asset to the conference. A lot of women starting these businesses, they aren't sure of their finances. Everybody trying to get a business loan and, not start from the beginning. Welcome, Beverly, right?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, y'all.
Hey,
Hello.
tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, first, good evening, everyone. My name is Beverly Johnson, the owner of Genesis Fitness. I'm located here in Huntsville, Alabama, and I am a health coach, nutrition coach, and personal trainer. And over the years, I've been working with my clients and students that I teach in my group fitness classes to move beyond thinking that exercise is just about the aesthetic. The
Mm-hmm.
wellness involves your mental, emotional, your spiritual, and your financial wellness. So my goal has always been to not just do the exercise, but create a space where you understand that in order to go forward, you have to break up the background. You have to break up the mindsets that you tell yourself you can't achieve anything. You have to break up all the stuff that's been holding you back, because I can create you the best plan ever. But until we address what's been stopping you, nothing else can happen.
Yeah, that's so true. Mindset is everything. And I imagine it's the same thing when it comes to your finances too. A lot of us aren't in the right mindset. So, you think when you get money, you got to spend it all. Um, Nishaea, right? That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah.
You're one of the sponsors for our event. What specific strategies, if any, do you share with your clients that you want the women at the conference to know about?
Yeah, so I focus on money mindset, money management, and money moves. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that you just spoke about, how when we get money, we want to spend it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really us changing that behavior that we have with our finances to where we're really looking at it in a way that we can multiply it and we can use it in different ways so that we're growing it and we're enjoying it. So that we
Mm-hmm.
get out of that cycle of, oh, I'm making more money, that means I have to spend it. No, let's build some
Right.
wealth. Let's invest it in our business. Let's do something with it so that it's going further and we're not in a space where every time we get a pay increase, we're
Mm-hmm.
like, man, where did all my money go? Because, everything is still feels the same, even though you're making more money.
Right. And Beverly, let's talk about some of the tough conversations you had to have with people, trying to get them into a place of health and wellness and not the aesthetics when it comes to exercising. I'm sure you had to have some tough conversations with people to get them to a different mindset. How do you achieve that? Like, how do you take a person from here to there?
The first step normally includes making peace with where you are
Mm-hmm.
and letting go of these false standards that you see that a lot of influencers or fit influencers have posted that lead to people putting unnecessary pressure on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tell everyone, if you gain weight over a course of 18 months, 2 years, it's not going to happen in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need to be honest about how you got here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard part for a lot of people to admit, that they have to take ownership in their own process. Because a lot of times we're in this space where you think if you can wear a wrap, drink some tea, do everything else, everything is going to magically fall in place. But there comes a space where you have to own your decisions. You have to own, this is how I got here. Years ago, I had a coworker. She gained like 25 pounds in 60 days because she was eating fat-free ice cream. And she saw in her mind that it was fat-free. And I was sitting there looking at her thinking, okay, I get that. But why'd you have to eat so much every night? But she put in her mind that it was fat-free. So she must be doing something right. So a lot of this is dispelling rumors, dispelling myths, a lot of misinformation, because again, there are a lot of people who are not certified and have perfected this craft. So we're in a space where if you have time, space, and a camera, you can have a YouTube channel, and 90% of the stuff you're saying may be misinformation, or you may not have a certification. So I'm in the position where many times having to start with the misinformation part and starting education, just like the finances. We have to break up the mindset first.
Right. And so I imagine it's the same thing with, when you're dealing with clients and their finances, really, getting into their mindset, and, changing the way they think about money. What was your journey, to get to the place where you are within your business? How did you, from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah, Beverly said something really significant about the mindset is that sometimes we got to stop and look at how we got to the place that we're in that moment to say like, okay, is this how I want to keep living, right? And then what do I need to change? And for me, it was really like I needed to start loving myself more, start accepting that I don't need to use my finances to keep people around me, to keep people happy. And when I got to that place where I'm like, no more. Like I'm choosing me over everybody else. That's when my journey actually changed, right? That's when I was able to start paying off debt. That's when I was able to start saving and preparing for home ownership and then doing all the things that I'm like, I thought were out of reach for me, but then realized that no, I got to make some sacrifices. I got to start changing some things. I have to actually change my mindset around what I believe is possible for me financially. professionally, personally, right? And then start putting some things into motion. And it also took some sacrifices. So sometimes, you know, we're in a space where a lot of people want that microwave quick result, and they don't realize that, okay, it took you 30, 40 years to get in this situation. It may not happen in 30 days, it may not happen in 6 months, it may not happen in a year, but are you willing to do what it takes to get through that process? So that's shifting your mindset and really seeing that it's possible for you. Also, as Beverly stated, like working through those money myths and things that we were taught about money, like money doesn't grow on trees and people who love money is evil and all those crazy things. But sometimes we don't realize that that's getting in the way of us going to the next level. And when we start working through that and breaking it all down, then it's like, okay, wait a minute. This doesn't have to apply to me. I don't want this to continue to be my life. Now I can start making the changes so that I can actually start building wealth and, you know, being a business owner and doing all the things that I need to do so that I'm prepared financially.
And either of you can answer, what do you think, you know, you're bringing to the conference that's unique to Black women entrepreneurs that they can really benefit from?
I'll start if it's okay.
Go ahead.
I will tell anyone I am an accidental entrepreneur. I had no intentions of ever being in entrepreneurship because I did like the elders and your aunties told you, get a good job with the benefits and buy your house, and that's your life because you got the good job, you got your degree. However, I stumbled upon entrepreneurship by accident because I found my passion in wellness. So I found my path to entrepreneurship strictly by finding my purpose and my passion. So a lot of times you find your purpose by accident. You find your passion by accident. So what I'm bringing into the situation saying that even though your journey didn't start off a direct path, it doesn't mean it's not too late to get back on it. It's not too late. You still have permission to have a do-over in your life. If you don't like where it is, you have absolute permission to do a total stop. At work, we call it work stoppage, to say this isn't what's working for me, be it my finances, be it my physical health, my spiritual health, my mental health. This isn't serving me anymore. And give yourself permission to put it down and find out what tools work for you. Because again, I still have the job that my mama told me to have. I had the benefits my mama told me to have, but I also found the things in life that make me happy. So give yourself permission to find your purpose, not the one your elders told you to have, not the ones your parents told you to have, but take the time to find out what your theme is. From the movie Soul with Jamie Foxx, take the time out to find your spark.
That's good.
Love that. So yeah, money is like, I think the number one because, you know, we don't necessarily need money to make money, right? But when we're going in business, we need to look at the full picture. And for Black women, we're already making less than our peers, right? White women, males that are doing the same thing that we're doing. And then one of my coaches actually pointed out a stat that Black women average $24,000 in their business a year, which is $2,000 a month.
Wow.
So yeah. So when you think about that, it's like a lot of times we're going into business so that we can walk away from that 9 to 5. And some of us are doing it as a supplement to what the income that we already have. But if we're making $24,000 a year on average, how could we possibly walk away from a 9 to 5 with that salary? And we still have to fund our business if we need a VA, if we need systems in place, we need websites, we need all these things. $24,000 is not enough. And if someone is going into business and they're not already able to manage their money that they currently have now, it's a whole nother ball game now that you're starting a business, because not only are you doing this to fund your lifestyle, you're also doing it to fund your business. And if you're not managing your money well, you're just going to be making money and not seeing it actually coming in or benefit from it. So, and if the mindset is in a space of lack and scarcity, when we start making money, now we're going to do things subconsciously to repel or spend everything that comes in, and we're not going to build wealth the way that we desire to. So finances and mindset around money is so important, especially for all of us, but more importantly for business owners, if they're looking to do this outside of their 9 to 5 and walk away from that.
Do you think that statistic about, women business owners is 100% accurate? Only because a lot of women, not a lot of women, a lot of business owners aren't accurately managing their money. They don't have the systems in place, so they're not accurately reporting what they're making. They're taking all this money in and then they're spending it. So in fact, they may be making more, but if they're not managing their money correctly, we don't even know that statistic is correct.
Which is very possible. I will say that I'm in a lot of communities with women of color, and there are some people that are super successful. They're in the mid 6 figures. They're getting up to that 7 figures, but there's a lot of business owners that are not, and they're just trying to get that next sale, right? Like, yes, they're still pushing, they're still showing up online, and they're doing what they need to do to grow their business, but the revenue is not coming in as quick as some other business owners. So, of course, no one is like advertising that, hey, I didn't make any money for the next 6 months, right?
Yeah. It just made me think
But,
about what Beverly was saying about the aesthetic thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are online saying they're doing all these things, but the numbers are saying you're making $24,000.
Right.
The internet is saying if you drink this tea, you'll be skinny, but Beverly is like, no, man, that's not how it works. So I just wonder, does a lot of that have to do with just what we're seeing if it's not, real?
Can I chime in? What people don't realize, finances and your fitness are the three numbers that everybody deals with, but nobody knows how to deal with. And those three numbers, be it your credit score or your weight, those three numbers dominate everything that you do, from your wellness to what you qualify for. Those three numbers dominate most conversations. And in our community, those three numbers are the two topics we never talk about, be it out of fear of having to face the realities. And a lot of times it comes down to the fear of admitting you don't know what you don't know. And unfortunately, on both sides, be it fitness or your finances, we would rather perish than face up to the fact that I don't know and I really need to ask for help. And so we would rather turn a blind eye and say, you know what, I don't know what I need to do to buy a house, so I'm just going to stay in this apartment because I just don't know. Or I've had some people say, I'm pre-diabetic. Oh, and I'm sitting there like, okay, so that means we're about to work. We're about to reverse this curse and get you back on track. No, I'm just going to take the treatment. And I'm sitting there like, but you have the power to change your whole path. And so a lot of times, because again, those three numbers, it's easy for us to accept the easy path than having to sit down and do the work and say, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. What do I have to do to change this? And it's that hard part that, though you know it's necessary, we don't want to do it.
Yep.
So tell me, when you first get a client, what's just the first step? Because you got to come to the conference to get all the details. But tell us just the first step in your process, when you're dealing with a client for both of you. What's the first thing that they need to do? First change they need to make?
So for me, we look at the numbers. That's like, for a lot of people, that's the hard part. As Beverly just said, they don't want to face the numbers, right? They may know that they have debt. They may know that, every month they're spending more than the amount of income that's coming in, but they've been avoiding it. And then when we get together, it's like they already have prep work. So by the time we get together, they've already seen it all. Now it's us working together to say like, okay, here we are. Now, what are we going to do about it? So really that first step is them having that reality check with themselves and going through everything, their monthly expenses, their income, their debt, and then so that they can prepare for our very first meeting, which I find is the most difficult for some people. And they may get to a space where like halfway through, they're like, you know what, maybe this is not a good decision. Maybe I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So, that's usually what happens when the first step of working with me.
And for me, it starts with clarity. Because a lot of times when people come to me, 10 times out of 10, it's, I want to be happy. I want to be high school skinny. I have this trip coming to Miami. And it's like, okay, let's narrow down exactly what do you want? Because most people are like, well, you know, I just need to get this weight off me. Okay, so walk me through what you think the process is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, I don't know I don't know. And so mine is to start with clarity and for us to create an action plan to figure out if you want to get here, what are you gonna do? And from what I do with my clients is I make sure that it's a conversation and not just me pushing down information, because I want your insights. I want your inputs, because I want you to create your action plan. Because if it's your action plan, my job is to build a strategy for you to get it. Because if you say, you know what, I want to lose 15 pounds by X day, I say, okay, now let's frame out what that looks like. That means what? You have to give up water, start drinking more water, give up sweets. We even have to look into your sleep hygiene schedule. And by sleep hygiene, that means go lay down. Go to bed. Get off the, you know, as my elders say, get off the internet and go to bed. That means you got to stop scrolling by a certain time. You have to be in bed, because all this works in tandem to having a clear mind to achieve your goals, because it starts with the clarity. And once I figure out exactly what you want to achieve, then we can soar.
All right. I can't wait for the conference. I think it's going to be great for, you know, entrepreneurs and anybody that wants to start a business right now. If you click the link in the bio, we are having a sale for the 3-day pass. The code is 5 off. So make sure you click the link in the bio, or you can go to Eventbrite. If you want to get the rest of the steps, you know, you need to come to the conference. We're doing overall health, financial health, physical health, mindset changes. We have some other awesome speakers who will be joining us next week. So thank you so much for joining, ladies. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you get your tickets to the conference, and have a good evening.